Many times you see games that look really good and looks professionally made, and that's all because of post-processing. So what is post-processing? Post-processing is basically an effect that's been added to your game to make it look good. And today in this video, I'll be showing you how to do that. And I just found out that if you go on YouTube and search out post-processing, most of which are outdated and many others don't explain as well, in my opinion. And that's what I'm gonna do here today. Explain post-processing, the process how to do it in the most simple form. So the first thing obviously what you want to do is open up a new scene, and next you want to go up to Windows and open Package Manager. If you already have this open, just click on it and wait for it to fetch its packages. Once it has loaded, click on the top and click on Unity Registry. What you want to do next is you can scroll down and find post-processing, or you can search on the top right corner here. So what I'm gonna do is click on post-processing and click on install. It took a while, but it's finally done. So what you want to do next is just close the package manager or dock it somewhere in your editor. And the next thing you want to do is basically create your scene or whatever you want to do to it. So I'm going to simply create a simple scene here for showcase. Okay, so now I've created a simple scene where it's just simply a cube on a flat plane. So the next thing you want to do is create a new component, an empty game object. I'm just going to call it the post-processing. So you can name it anything, but this is like a unit for where you hold all your post-processing components. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So create the empty game object, and on the add component section, once you've installed your package, you should see a new thing. It's called post-processing. And right here, there are a few things. The main ones we're going to use is the layer and volume. And the one you're going to put on the empty game object is the volume one. And you'll see a lot of things here. The one that you really have to do for now is take the global and create a new profile. And once you've clicked on the new profile, if you go back to your project, you should see a place where this is saved. So right there. So alright, where I've created this, so next to my scenes folder, there's a new post-processing profiles. It is saved right here. You can save it wherever you want. I'm just gonna drag it into my assets folder. So I have it right here. And a few ways you can edit this post-processing volume is by double clicking on this and pressing add effect, or just go into the hierarchy and click on the object we added before. So the next part we want to do is go on your camera and add the post-processing layer. And I'll tell you why we have to add it on the camera. So right there, if I create a new empty object, or create it on this object really, so if I create a layer, you see that it automatically adds the camera component anyways, because if I try to remove this right there, and you say that can't remove camera because post-processing layer script depends on it. So this script needs a camera component for it to work. So might as well put it on the camera. What we want to do next is click on any game object. I'm just going to click on the post-processing game object we made earlier and click on layers, click on add layer, and basically in the first layer, that's layer 6, or you can put it anywhere really. I'm going to put mine in layer 6. We'll name it post-processing and just click out, and it will automatically save. What you want to do next is for the object which you have connected the volume onto, so the post-processing object, and select the post-processing layer as well as the camera. So go down and the volume layer, click on post-processing, and you'll see that the error message or the exclamation mark has disappeared, because now this is in effect. Now you can just have fun and fiddle around with whatever you want in post-processing. So for a quick clear example, I'm just gonna add a vignette. So to activate each object or effect in post-processing, you just simply tick the tick boxes on the left hand side. So I'm gonna add mine so it's like for example like this, and you can see as I drag it out, the higher the value, the vignette just shows up on the screen. And you can modify this however you want. So for example, you can untick this, turn this component off, add multiple components. And one that really brings an effect into your game, like in my personal opinion, is the chromatic aberration. You'll see that this is getting used a lot in most indie games, because as you can see, when I drag this out, you can see a obvious like blur in the different 3 channels. So when you play, there's more of a professional feeling, if you get what I mean. And there's a lot of other ones like motion blur and bloom and etc. I'll be leaving a video in the description done by Brackeys to where he explains each component in very much detail. Although his video is outdated, but the information in his video are still premium as always. So as you can see, I made a simple scene with everything we've learned before: a rigid body, camera shake, and post-processing added onto my cube. So every time I press space, the cube jumps, and there's slight camera shake on the camera. And everything you hear is done by using post-processing. So if I quit this out and simply just close down my post-processing component, I just untick this, and this is what the scene looks like without post-processing. You can see the major difference in how the game feels and plays. Everything just feels a bit bland, if you get what I mean. And when I add it on, you immediately get the more complete feeling, if you would say it that way. So yeah, that's the example I quickly made using post-processing and some of the other things we learned in this channel. So that's gonna be it for this video. This is just a simple video telling you how to do post-processing in Unity. The reason I made this, as I explained earlier, is that I found that many people making this isn't really explaining what they're doing, and it confused me a bit. And also most videos out there are outdated, so when I tried to follow them, I had a confusing and hard time. So I figured I'll make a video explaining on how to do this. So I hope you enjoyed and this has helped you in some way, and I'll see you next time. Bye.